Welcome to CTD130 Lifespan Development. In this lecture, we will cover the system theory of human development. By the end of this session, you should be able to describe how context influences development from Bronfenbrenner's bioecological perspective, and explain why the eco-biodevelopmentalists endorse early intervention strategies. The system's approach to human development emphasizes the dynamic interaction between personal factors, such as biophysical, spiritual, intellectual, emotional, behavioral, and interpersonal aspects, and external influences like physical environment and social or cultural context. A key principle of system theory is holism, which asserts that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. For instance, a loaf of bread is more than just its ingredients. Human growth occurs through reorganization of this dynamic system in response to change. Adaptive adjustments promote wellness, while maladaptive adjustments may lead to disorder or dysfunction. So we are going to go and cover Bronfenbrenner's theory, which is a bioecological system theory, which tries to explain development in terms of relationships among individuals and their environment or interconnected contexts. Bronfenbrenner attempted to classify the individual and contextual variables that affect development and to specify how they interact. According to Bronfenbrenner's theory, the contexts of development are like spheres within spheres. The outermost layer, known as macrosystem, represents the broad social-cultural context in which a child develops. It reflects the prevailing social-cultural ideologies, values, beliefs, and the organization of social systems and public policies through major institutions such as federal government. For instance, this cultural context shapes the Canadian belief in the significance of education. What are some strengths of the macro system concept? Well, firstly is the holistic understanding of development. The macro system considers the broader societal and cultural context that significantly impacts a child's upbringing. Second strength is the cultural influence. It highlights how cultural factors explain differences in development across various societies. It also considers the socio-economic factors. The macro system acknowledges the role of social structures and inequalities, such as poverty and access to resources, in shaping developmental opportunities. And lastly, one of the strengths of this concept is the historical influences. It also accounts for historical events and changes that impact development, recognizing their lasting effect on individual experiences. There are some limitations to the macro system concept. This can be too broad and difficult to measure. The macro system encompasses a vast array of factors, making it challenging to operationalize and measure its specific influence on individual development. May not adequately capture cultural diversity. This is the second limitation. The third one is might be neglected later in interactions in this theory. Despite its importance in Bronfenbrenner's later work, particularly in phase 3 of theory development, but this is not paying attention as much later on. Original conceptualization struggled to explain how distal systems impact proximal processes. One criticism of Bronfenbrenner's bioecological model is its insufficient conceptualization of how the macrosystem directly impacts individual development, particularly how more distal systems influence proximal processes. The next concept or the next layer is the exosystem, which refers to the socio-economic context. This includes the institution within a culture that indirectly affects children's development, such as a parent's workplace, social services, healthcare system, and educational frameworks. For instance, while the citizen of a nation may strongly believe that all children should receive an education, which is the social culture context, their ability to provide universal education can be constrained by the country's wealth. This is the socio-economic context. So there are some strengths to the ecosystem concept. First is that it's recognizing indirect influences, and the second one is that understands the concept. It's looking at the context for understanding. It's encouraging a holistic view of a child development. There are some limitations as well, which is the blurred boundaries, digital environments, rapid cultural transmission that refers mostly to technology and how this has spread the cultural influences. The next layer in Bronfenbrenner theory is the microsystem, which consists of the immediate context and individually directly experiences, such as family, school, religious institutions, and neighborhoods. The mesosystem includes the connection between these elements, for example, a child's school and her family. A child's education might be influenced by the cultural value placed on quality education and the availability of funding in the nation. However, her specific school and the relationship between her family and school will have a more direct impact. Thus, her immediate context can either align or contradict broader cultural and socioeconomic factors. There are some practical applications stemming from these concepts. For parents and caregivers, it's important to communicate actively with the teachers. It's important to be involved in school activities. It's the encouragement of positive relationship and creating a home environment that values learning. There's also impacts or application for educators. The reverse is open communication with parents, creating a welcoming classroom environment, and to extend its learning beyond the classroom. Finally, the last layer in Bronfenbrenner's theory is the person. Her individual context, the client's context, also influences their development. For example, a student who hasn't mastered the skill of reading isn't likely to benefit from an enriched literature program. Thus, her culture, the socioeconomic status, the school she attends, and her family may all be geared toward providing a quality education. However, her ability to benefit from it will be determined by the degree to which her education fits her individual needs. We will also briefly cover the eco-biodevelopmental theory, which is a model that explains how a child's development is influenced by both their genes and their environment. It also examines how toxic stress can impact a child's development. There are some applications for this theory, especially in early childhood education interventions. For example, designing high-quality preschool programs that focus on social emotional development, or implementing early literacy and numeracy interventions to improve long-term cognitive outcomes. Applications in healthcare and pediatric care, promoting early screenings for developmental delays and adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, or encouraging pediatricians to address social determinants of health, housing, nutrition, parental stress. In the public health and policy sphere, the application revolves more about or around developing policies that reduce toxic stress in children, which are like parental leave, childcare subsidies, or creating community programs to support families facing economic or social hardships. In the sphere of social service and family support, the applications are more around providing parenting education and mental health resources to caregivers, or expanding access to services like food assistance and safe housing to mitigate childhood adversity. And lastly, in trauma-informed practices, training teachers, social workers, and healthcare professionals in trauma-informed care, and implementing school programs that help children build resilience and coping skills. Here are some reflective questions. How applicable is Bronfenbrenner's theory to your life? Secondly, how can understanding a client microsystem, family, friends, school, or workplace could help counselors develop effective interventions? And lastly, In what ways do interactions between different systems, mesosystem, impact the client's mental health? Can you think of a case where these interactions create either protective or risk factors? In summary, Bronfenbrenner bioecological system theory has helped developmental psychologists categorize environmental factors and think about the ways in which they influence individuals. Secondly, policymakers and caregivers are encouraged to embrace an interdisciplinary approach to human development because the origins of many impairments can be biologically embedded through gene-environment interactions, beginning at concept and continuing throughout the early years of life. This lecture is based on lifespan development by Boyd, Johnson, and B. pages 53 to 56.